as far as how we interpret five sensory data, the outer world, people, environment, circumstance, and information. We then also discover certain purposes in our life. I call them definite chief aims. Watch the video, definite chief aims. And we also realize that we always had the power within us to create whatever success that we want. We then receive greater visions or conversations with our higher self via our inner voice. We also reveal certain hunches, inspirations, and plans to create as a result of this conversation with our higher self.
Hey guys, welcome to the Dream Journal, episode 57. This is your host, Kareem Christmas, turning your dreams into reality. Today is September 15th. It's 8:27 p.m. And we're just getting started here. I'm going to go ahead and share the stream on Twitter, and then we'll get started up.
This all happens via our inner voice, conversation that
we have some Joseph Rodriguez playing in the background. We'll probably get a copyright strike on this video, but
oh well. We evolve in a deeper relationship and conversation with infinite intelligence.
Today we're going to be doing a little bit more abstract art again.
Before we get into which is my contribution to you.
So hopefully you guys enjoy that.
And building the relationship with infinite intelligence via your inner voice. Also, building a relationship with your higher self and your inner voice. I call it inner voice attunement. But before we get into that, we'll look into three important lessons that I've learned in my journey that have been very helpful. And I trust that they will be very helpful for you. Number one, through the faculty of creative imagination, the finite mind can create actually already exists. Creation is complete. And really, what we're looking at is what within our five sensory world reveals the pathway. So it seems. These opportunities or resources that are revealed in the outer world are really reflections of the world within, our states of mind. And we acquire these states of mind, which we call a higher degree of resourcefulness, through experience. Knowledge plus experience equals wisdom. Wisdom is knowing the difference. Wisdom helps us see an opportunity where
I think we'll start
an obstacle and a hindrance. It is through our inner voice conversation we're able to communicate with infinite intelligence.
Or actually, let me start with the 8-bit.
Through our creative imagination, how it is an opportunity, how it is a resource. And through this inner voice conversation, we're able to work with the opportunity and resource to create success or bring forth our definite chief aim. As a result, we learn to trust and evolve ourselves. We receive and affirm the higher self and the subconscious mind, and externalize accordingly the people, environment, circumstance, and information that reflects the affirmation of the higher self. Number two, while in flow, infinite intelligence hands over the plan at the right time. This is the plan to create success, if action is required. This is also known as living in the image of your higher self, as you are part of the bigger plan.
Okay, so
now, when you realize the vision of your higher self, you realize that you can know your higher self even more.
Let's see if it'll fit on this screen, and if not,
and it is this conversation
go ahead and retry on a larger canvas.
Tap into the understanding and wisdom of infinite intelligence. Our goal then is to, as I state here, flow is the act of faith that will keep you alert. As in, live in flow, be in your flow, which is being in alignment with your higher self. The things that challenge us and stimulate us and bring us excitement at the same time bring us into a state of mind which we call flow. I recommend watching videos that I discuss flow on some links in the description. When you find and honor and maintain your flow, you receive via your inner voice hunches and inspirations and ideas to evolve the five sensory data that you have in front of you. But it's really your perspective on it to reveal the opportunities and resources, and to realize that everything was always contributing to your debt that you paid. And this journey is about realizing how so. That's what I mean by bigger plan. This plan or idea is sacred, and with unconditional love, act upon.
So I'm going to be using this
By
picture
acting upon it,
as a reference.
you affirm
This one here.
your connection.
So yeah, I'm going to kind of take
Develop
elements of this and
build
switch it up
your
in
connection
order to do this
intelligence. You
new
also
photo.
find yourself more so in flow, and you affirm the self-image of the higher self on your subconscious mind till your current self-image evolves and becomes more like your higher self. To the unknown ways of infinite intelligence, your subconscious mind draws upon the visible and invisible forces to leverage the most practical resources available in the form of thought, emotion, action, or environment, ideas, hunches, and inspirations, and outer world people, environment, circumstance, information changes. Deliberate, inspired action may be required in the beginning.
I don't know if that's going to fit on the
Conscious mind
8-bit
your
canvas,
body will
but
appear to move automatically
might as well try and
as
see.
awareness and action become one. Now, in the book Flow by Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, he talks about this at the later stages, autotelic, where action and awareness become one. This is when you are deeply into flow. By maintaining flow and being in flow, you will also maintain your connection with infinite intelligence. Through your inner voice, you will learn to trust yourself, listen to yourself. You will be able to differentiate between your inner voice, which is your true connection with your higher self, the true voice, and the voice that was formed based on past programming that disempowers you. Now, what I want to share with you is some key elements that allow you to tune yourself, get yourself in attunement with your inner voice, and thus facilitate the connection with infinite intelligence. Fundamentally, you do this by releasing disempowering program, beliefs, and assumptions that you have about yourself, others, information, circumstance, and environment. Through the journey of identifying and releasing these elements, I'll put a link in the description for 4 subconscious mind methods that I recommend for me work really well. In the journey of releasing that disempowering programming, you build a higher degree of self-esteem, self-love, self-acceptance, and self-confidence, which facilitates your inner voice connection. You'll actually start to enjoy having conversations with yourself in your mind. You will enjoy time in reflection, and the more you continue doing this, the more you'll find creative ideas, hunches, and inspirations will be received via your inner voice, and these are from infinite intelligence, and in the process, you will build your relationship with infinite intelligence. And again, mentioning that infinite intelligence might mean something totally different for me than it is for you. Talk to a broad array of people, and you'll find that each person has a unique way of interpreting infinite intelligence. This is a relationship that is built within via the inner voice. And you're going to, in the process, build your own relationship with infinite intelligence. Here are some inner voice attunement elements that contribute to bring us into a state of mind where we can facilitate this connection with our inner voice and connection with infinite intelligence. I recommend watching this video on a regular basis whenever you feel that you have lost your connection with your inner voice. One of my commitments that I made over the last couple of years is to continuously build, evolve my connection with infinite intelligence and my inner voice. As a result, ideas, hunches, and inspirations and the most creative ways of creating success and bringing forth my definite chief aims are revealed to me via my inner voice. And my trust is that you will be able to receive this as well, using these elements here that tune you into the connection via your inner voice with infinite intelligence. Your inner voice speaks of the abundance of opportunity and resources available and how to combine them as contribution to your definite chief aim. This is the kind of information of how that will be revealed to you via your inner voice and conversation with infinite intelligence, as a hunch, as an inspiration, or even a direct conversation. And as mentioned in my last video, resourcefulness is really about looking at reality from a certain perspective where you see the resources that were always there, same with the opportunities. And this is done by releasing the program, either being on the journey and evolving through living the higher self, or creating a definite chief aim and seeing it all the way to completion, or cause and effect, and a combination of all. Of the meaning, the beliefs and assumptions that were given to the various 5 sensory data that shows up on our journey that is disempowering, and releasing it using one of the 4 methods that I mentioned. Again, I'll go into the description. As a result of doing this, you release any other voices that are not in alignment with the voice of infinite intelligence via your inner voice that speaks of abundance and opportunity and the resources that are available, your own acres of boundaries. Teaches us how to accept ourselves so that we can make peace with people, environment, circumstance, and information in our lives. The outer world is a reflection of the inner world, and how we interpret others, environment, circumstance, and information is how we interpret ourselves. This is what you'll notice that you will find as you continue this conversation and release the programming that may have caused you to deflect everything onto the outer world. Guides us to speak and express our truth through our higher self-based creative expression. We all have a purpose. We all have higher selves. We are on the journey of realizing and affirming our higher self on our subconscious mind and living from that perspective. And as a result, we'll find that we'll have our own contribution in service to others, which we call creative expression. This is very powerful and useful for entrepreneurs because it's fundamentally 2 ways of creating business, one out of force and desperation and wanting approval from the outer world, or one from being authentic to who you really are, which is in alignment with your higher self. What I have found is that by being in alignment with your higher self, the opportunities and the ways of creating success are done more so from a place of flow, both revealed and facilitated by my inner voice conversation and infinite intelligence. And my actions and my awareness become one. In other words, I want to do everything that I'm doing right now because it is who I am. It's being real. It is who you are. And we all have this opportunity. Each one of us has a creative expression that is based on our higher self, that is in contribution to what I call the spirit of harmony, benefit for us, others, and divine and evolution. Helps us transmute the meaning from 5 sensory data into affirmation in relation to your definite chief aim. Now it's really meaning to 5 sensory data if you want to reflect deep enough. 5 sensory data is people, environment, circumstance, information, anything that we pick up via the 5 senses. We interpret this information. And we might assume that the beliefs and assumptions that we have about this information is static, even if it's disempowering to us, others, and divine and evolution. The truth is that you can evolve the meaning, and the meaning is received via your inner voice conversations with the infinite intelligence. And it may be similar to the meaning of others, or it could be unique to you. The bottom line is that you will find a greater sense of peace and harmony and well-being as you reflect upon the 5 sensory data and your inner voice conversation, to reveal how to look at it in a way where you see obstacles as opportunities, setbacks as ways of contributing. Reality is optimization data to reveal to you about yourself. And we can look at it from 2 perspectives. One, as in identifying the meaning we're giving to the 5 sensory data, and choosing the meaning and aligning that meaning with our higher self-based meaning, which is received via our inner voice conversation with infinite intelligence. Or recreating the past either empowering or disempowering recreations from our past. Most of this is subconscious. And the inner voice conversation with infinite intelligence teaches us how to affirm our own abundance through allowing others to have their own in the spirit of harmony. We get what we want by contributing, by being of service, rather than taking away from another person. If we do it by trying to take away from another person, then that is not a conversation with infinite intelligence via the inner voice. When we do it from the perspective of being in contribution, sharing, and elevating, and creating more happiness, joy, bliss, and success in the lives of others through creative expression, then we're in contribution. And that kind of conversation is facilitated again via releasing any programming that denies that way of being, which is also revealed to us via our inner voice through synchronicities in the outer world, through reflection of our creations, through sensations that guide us in the direction of being in alignment with our definite chief aim, which is in alignment with our higher self. Teaches us how to learn and be inspired by others. There's a saying, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. Well, also, when the teacher is ready, the student appears. And all the information is contributing to the realization of your higher self and the definite chief aim being a part of the journey of realizing your higher self, and building and further facilitating your inner voice connection to infinite intelligence. And as a result, you'll notice that you have a greater degree of love towards others, and you are inspired by them. You will see them on the same side as you. You might have thought before that they were against you, or they were taking away from you, and you'll see how they were actually all along contributing in the form of revelation, or in the form of direct inspiration based on their creations. Teaches you how to express your power without trying to take it away from anyone else. Again, spirit of harmony, unconditional love, is the universal language of infinite intelligence, because it's infinite in nature. So why would it need to be anything less than or take away? Teaching us how to maintain and remain in the present moment, maintaining presence, and not reliving past aspects that are not in harmony with our higher self. I always say this, the journey is as important as the destination. The journey and the destination is one. All is one. We like to take things apart so we can put it back together again. And so we create polarity so we can understand. And the journey and the destination is one. When we're in flow, we see it as one. We value our successes, we aim for success, and we also value and enjoy the journey. That's called being present in this moment. As a result of doing that, we have a greater degree of self-acceptance and confidence and faith, which further facilitates and tunes ourselves to the connection of infinite intelligence, because we're moving into the state that represents it. Guides into harmony of polarity to what is related to your higher self. So principle of polarity, we learned this from the Kabbalah, and I've done a couple of discussions on the book, I'll put a link in the description, 2 links. Principle of polarity. There's up, down, left, right, night, day, everything has polarity, opposite ends. And the answer is, it depends, somewhere along the spectrum. And actually there is no absolute. Truth is ever realizing, constantly realizing. Your higher self, you're constantly realizing your higher self. You're always growing, you're always evolving. Infinite intelligence is infinite in nature, constantly realizing. And as a result, we are guided into a deeper relationship with infinite intelligence via our inner voice. And whatever shows up in the outer world, we can polarize to, as in begin to identify with. Now, some of the things that we polarize to or identify with are in harmony with our higher self, or in harmony with our past selves. And the elements that were in alignment with our past self may not be in contribution to the realization of your definite chief aim. Maybe they once were for previous achievement. Now, all of this is attunement for you to connect with infinite intelligence via your inner voice. It's about building a relationship with infinite intelligence and your inner voice. Watch the other video I did on inner voice. I put a link in the description. But remember this. As you evolve, so will where your attention go be more so in harmony and in alignment with what you want to create. And the idea is that you can either operate from a place of focus, or we could say the opposite of that is distraction. And what we really want is unwavering focus, which is our natural state, which is the aligned state of the higher self. Watch the video I did on unwavering focus. Guides you into the feeling of completeness and knowingness that you are perfect right now, and you always do your best. See, this helps us release from shame, and this helps us make peace with our past, the people, environment, circumstance, information were revealing to us about ourselves and may have instilled within us some disempowering programming. But we make peace by realizing that people always do the best that they could. And upon reflection, it's a contribution to your journey. And so thus, on the journey for creative success, we reveal to ourselves the meaning we are given to that binds us to past situations where we felt that we or others didn't do their best. And we release it, again bringing us into the now. And in the process, developing a higher degree of self-love, self-acceptance, self-confidence, and unconditional love. And as a result, you feel complete. You won't find yourself needing, because you have everything. And it is through this state of being that the thoughts, emotions, behaviors, and outer world circumstances reflect, auto-tell. And remember, this is a journey. So if you're not experiencing this right now, then realize that on the journey of creating success or bringing forth death and achievement, you're also realizing your higher self, and you're releasing past aspects that may not be in alignment, past programming. And even some of the desires that you have, as you affirm your higher self, you realize that those desires are not what your higher self desired, but past versions of yourself. And as a result, you evolve what you desire to create. And what you'll find is that when the desires that you want to create are in alignment with your higher self, which is facilitated via your inner voice conversation with infinite intelligence, upon reflection and conversation, and really affirming these elements that I'm discussing here, is that it will appear more so opportunities and resources are aligned with you, because they are. Outer world 5 sensory data will be transmuted into meaning of contribution. And you'll notice success is created from more so of a joy, bliss, and ease. If you're an entrepreneur, your business will be in alignment with your higher self. It'll be one with who you are, and your thoughts, emotions, behaviors, creative expressions, and environments, people, circumstance, and information will be in harmony. Which brings me to my next point, which is very important. This is part of a bigger process. We are all individual expressions of the same mind. Guides you to build and create in reality as a service to others in collaboration with others who are also realizing and living their higher self. What you realize is once you accept
What do you guys think?
and affirm your higher self, and
Some abstract art there.
is that you will start to notice
heart,
a desire to be around
the
others
abstract background.
and information
I don't know.
that
Yeah, I
aligns
guess
you to
it's
your higher self, that connects you to your inner voice.
it's decent.
It builds your unique relationship with infinite intelligence. And as a result, also guides you to see through any chaos or confusion. Now this is a realization journey, so our relationship with infinite intelligence gets clearer. Our relationship with our inner voice becomes clearer as well. And when we see chaos or confusion, we're able to go in and have a conversation with ourselves via inner voice and find out how we can rise above that chaos. Then things will start to make even more sense. facilitates a deeper empathetic connection with all beings as a grand mastermind in the spirit of harmony. Grand mastermind. In one of my previous videos, and I'll put a link in the description, I talked about the concept of masterminding, as in bringing a group of individuals together who are operating from the perspective of spirit of harmony and contributing to each other as far as success goes, or whatever definite chief aims that each individual has, or the entire group. Now the truth is that when we evolve ourselves to a higher degree of connection with infinite intelligence, and faith and trust and listening to our inner voice and releasing any programming that creates a voice that is not true to us, is not the true inner voice, which is in alignment with the higher self. When we release that programming, we'll be able to notice that all people, circumstance, environment, and information is in contribution. The grand master mind becomes apparent to your definite chief aim. And you'll notice
Well, you know what?
people
I
and
could
more
actually pattern.
circumstances and more reflections in the outer world serving you, showing up, opportunities show up. You'll have a hunch or inspiration to move in a certain direction that will lead you to an opportunity or a resource or an end result. Now, all these attunement elements are designed to not only facilitate your inner voice, differentiate your inner voice based on any kind of assumptions of disempowering programming that is not your inner voice, and connect you to infinite intelligence, where you receive further plans, ideas, hunches, and inspirations, and visions that is in alignment with creating what you desire, as well as evolving yourself to higher levels of evolution of yourself, so you can create success from a place of flow, joy, bliss, and ease. If you want to copy this mind map, the link is in the description. Thank you very much for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Yeah, that's my 8-bit piece for today. I don't know, kind of just messing around. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. 8-bit abstract art, a combination of the two. Yeah, I'll see you guys in that next one. Peace. Or actually, let me sign off. Might as well. Let's do another layer for the signature. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, 8-bit abstract art. I'll see you in that next one. Peace.